What's the deal with after-tax 401k contributions when we can't do the Mega Backdoor Roth? Hi, this is financial planner Sean Mullaney. Let's discuss. So this came from a commenter on the channel, Maricat. Thanks so much for commenting on one of my previous videos. She was asking about, there's these after-tax 401k contributions. And some 401k plans don't let you do the so-called Mega Backdoor Roth, where you sort of immediately convert it to a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA. So if that's the case, what's the deal with these after-tax 401k contributions, sometimes referred to as post-1986 after-tax 401k contributions? Is this the sort of thing you should just pass up? And look, I can't give you advice in this particular video, but what I can say is after-tax contributions to a 401k or other workplace plan can become something very interesting, and that is a Roth IRA. So what happened is this. In the year 2014, the IRS and Treasury issued something called Notice 2014-54. I'm going to link to it in the description below, and a Michael Kitces article on that notice. And that notice says something very, very interesting. It says that if you have a traditional 401k with old after-tax contributions in it, and by the way, this exists in the world, right? In theory, we'd like to do the Mega Backdoor Roth, just get that into Roth IRAs or Roth 401ks as soon as possible, but not all plans allow that, right? So it may be that you're watching this video today and you're saying, hey, you know what? I have these after-tax contributions sitting in my 401k. I can't move it to a Roth. Or you might be considering future after-tax contributions and you know you can't move it to a Roth. Well, one thing I'm here to say is you ought to very strongly consider at the first opportunity the opportunity to roll the after-tax contributions only, not the earnings, right? We'll talk about the earnings in a second. The contributions themselves can be directly rolled, usually at a separation from service, into a Roth IRA. Now look, the whole decision as to whether or not to take a 401k, move it to an IRA, that's a multi-factor analysis, but I'm saying only from a tax perspective. It makes a whole lot of sense to say, okay, identify those after-tax 401k contributions. They're in the traditional 401k. Well, at separation from service, I'm going to roll them into a Roth IRA. Essentially what the after-tax contributions did is they just set up a delayed Roth IRA. That can be very powerful. Now, like I said, there's a lot of considerations before ever moving a 401k to an IRA. I'm not telling you to move your 401k to an IRA. But if you ultimately decide, you know what the right answer is for me, it's to move my 401k to an IRA or Roth IRA. You ought to be very specific and intentional and make sure those after-tax contributions get into a Roth IRA. In theory, they can still go into a traditional IRA, but I would argue that is not good tax planning. Now, why do I say that? Well, that means all the earnings going forward from those after-tax contributions are going to continue to be subject to deferred taxation, RMD rules. That's not so great. Why not just get those contributions into the Roth IRA so all the future earnings also become tax-free in the future? That's fantastic. Now, the earnings attributable to those after-tax contributions, in theory, can go into a Roth IRA, but that means they're immediately taxable. So you probably don't want to do that. I mean, unless you're just in a very low tax bracket that year or, for whatever reason. What you're probably going to want to do in most cases is simply roll the earnings that are in that traditional 401k into a traditional IRA. Now, yeah, it's the same tax treatment in the future, theoretically, but at least you're not immediately taxing them. So, look, I'm not here to say whether or not you should contribute or should not contribute to an after-tax 401k, but I will say for those in the audience who have after-tax 401k balances or in the future will have after-tax 401k balances, that can very much be a tax planning opportunity, and it very much can set up a delayed Roth IRA with all its tax-free benefits and tax-free growth. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please mash that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.